Welcome to a spring-themed sophisticated Saturday. We are going to work through my to-do list like we normally do, get things done around the house, but it's all going to kind of be spring-themed. I'm going to try and get some stuff for Easter baskets for Owen, do a little spring recipe, spring cleaning always. But before we get too far into it, I wanted to clean up the living room because I was expecting some new toys for Owen, which I'll show you in just a second. Now that I have the living room cleaned up, I just got my new Lovevery box for Owen. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I have been getting these since he was a newborn. So this box just came and it is for 28, 29, and 30 months. It is the Enthusiast. They always come with these play guides, which I really like because it shows you kind of when to introduce them, all the different things you can do with the toys, and a fun thing when there's a holiday coming up, I've done this for like Christmas and Hanukkah, is I've separated out the toys and like wrapped them and put them under the tree. Or if you want to do like the 8 nights of Hanukkah and do a bunch of little gifts, you can do that. But for Easter, I was thinking I could maybe put some of these things in his Easter basket. This one is one of my favorites. It has all of the different emotions. So it has angry and happy and sad, and then there's a little mirror here so they can practice making the faces and doing the different emotions. This is a nice small one that would be kind of fun to stick in the Easter basket. Or I was kind of thinking it came with a puzzle. Owen loves puzzles. This one's kind of fun. You can stack it in all different ways, and you're recognizing how many holes match up with how many pegs and the shapes and all of that. Very cute. This one is totally me. It comes with a spray bottle and a little squeegee. He loves cleaning with me, and I've gotten him a couple cleaning toys before, and spring cleaning, Easter, this could be really cute to stick in there, and you can just fill it with water. You don't actually have to give your child a cleaner, just water, and they can come and clean along with you. And there's a bunch of other things, and one of my favorite parts is that there is a book that comes every time. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a little bit of a toy rotation here, pull out some of the old toys, put some of these new toys out, and add this book about my favorite nature buddy. Always nice to get a new book. I kind of hate reading the same ones over and over and over again, but kids love doing that. So I can add this one to the full collection, and I'm going to do a little toy rotation. And now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of want to put this in the Easter basket. The subscription model of Lovevery makes so much sense because I don't even have to think about it. It is a complete no-brainer, and it sends me the toys that my kids need at that stage of their development. So if you are interested in Lovevery for your kids or potentially as a gift, I will have a link in the description box as well as a link to my playmat that Henry uses. Also, it was Owen's favorite. What else says Easter and spring than a carrot cake? So today I decided to make a carrot cake. It is the New York Times carrot cake recipe, so I'll try and link it in the description box below. But the New York Times is kind of weird. Sometimes it lets you see their recipes, other times it says you have to have a subscription, but it's strange. I don't know. Sometimes it lets you slip through every now and then, so hopefully you're able to view it if you don't have a subscription. I was able to get it once and print it out, so I was going off of that. And I'm not gonna lie, I made some mistakes as I was making this. I didn't really read all of the instructions before I started, which is not the way to go when you're baking especially, but I read it as 2 cake pans. It was supposed to be 3 cake pans that are 9 inches and then 2 inches deep. I just saw the 2 and saw 2 cake pans in my head. I don't know. So it doesn't turn out exactly the way it should have, but it's still delicious. Probably there just would have been more frosting between each layer if I would have done 3 layers instead of 2. I realized once I got to the point of assembling the cake. Anyway, you'll see I'm adding all of the ingredients into my stand mixer after I shredded those carrots using my food processor. One of you actually saw, I think, one of my videos or maybe on Instagram that I was talking about how a few pieces of my food processor had broken, and it's a Cuisinart food processor, which I absolutely love. I use it all the time to save time on things, but I was getting really frustrated that it had some broken pieces, and I was thinking about maybe getting a new one at some point, but it's really expensive. And somebody told me you can go on the Cuisinart website and find replacement parts. So I just got a few replacement parts, and now it is in tip-top shape. Didn't have to spend that much money, and just thought I'd share that and pass that along, that you
should always look at the manufacturer if you're having an issue with any of your appliances. I don't know why I didn't think to do that first. I was looking on Amazon for replacement parts and they were so expensive, and the Cuisinart website itself had them at a much more reasonable price. Okay, now my batter is fully mixed up, so I am going to prep those 2 cake pans, which should be 3 cake pans, by buttering them and then putting a little bit of flour in there. This recipe does say to do that, but even if you are baking a cake that doesn't say to do that, it is a great way to help your cakes release from the pan. Just make sure you butter the entire surface and then flour it, and really shake and tap off that excess flour so there's not a bunch of flour on the bottom layer of your cakes. Now, I could have weighed these to make it exactly even, but I just kind of eyeballed it. I'm not really making this cake for any particular purpose. I'm not planning on bringing it anywhere for a special occasion. If you were, again, try the 3 layers, but you could also weigh everything out so it's a little bit more perfect. But since this is just for us, I am weighing it a little bit more. Cakes are in the oven, and maybe you could tell that there were quite a few dishes in the sink, so I needed to put all of those dirty dishes in the dishwasher. I, again, am trying to have a clean slate today, trying to clean up as I go, clean up room by room. I always do that on Saturdays and on the weekends. I like to do this sweep of the house as I walk through each room, kind of close it out, get everything picked up. So I need to get this sink picked up, and while the cake bakes is the perfect time, because I also have some laundry that's going up in the laundry room, which is not quite done. So I'm hoping by the time I'm done with dishes, then the laundry will be ready to fold, and we're doing this little bit of multitasking throughout the day. Timing worked out perfectly that our dark laundry was done in the dryer, so I was able to pull that out. I also wanted to get some of the lint out before I switched over the laundry and put all of Owen's laundry into the dryer, and oh wow, I had waited a really long time to do his laundry. He had like 1 pair of pajamas left, and he has a ton of pajamas. So that's saying a lot that he only had 1 pair left. So I am just quickly checking all of the clothing that might have stains on it, because if anything has stains, I'm going to pull it out and make sure I don't put it in the dryer, and I can give it a stain treat one more time before I wash it. If you dry your stains, they tend to be much more difficult to get out. So if you're able to catch it before you put it in the dryer, you're much more likely to actually remove that stain. So that pile I'm throwing on top of the washer and dryer are things that need a second go around. Now I'm just dumping this all out on the guest room bed. I don't know why it took me so long to get this collapsible laundry bin that I'm using to transport clean clothing. It is a game changer. Awesome that it's collapsible, so if I'm not using it, I can collapse it and put it away and it doesn't take up a bunch of space. And I also like the fact that it's just for clean laundry. I am kind of grossed out by putting your clean laundry into a dirty laundry bin. I know some people do that to transport their laundry. Previously, I was just carrying it around by the handful and trying to bring it around the house that way, and I would always drop stuff everywhere. So again, I don't know why it took me so long to get this collapsible laundry bin, but it has helped my laundry game immensely. Once I finished separating out my laundry versus Jim's laundry, then I folded all of mine up. I have been doing it in the guest room, which Jim really likes, because then when he comes home, if he for some reason doesn't have time, then he can still hop in bed and it's not on our bed. I don't have a ton of comfortable counter space for me in our laundry room to fold. I prefer folding it over the bed. I like the height of it a little bit more. And then once I get all of my stuff folded, I'm going to pile it up and take it into our bedroom and put it away in my dresser. Okay, the cake is almost done at this point, so I'm gonna get the frosting prepped. It is a cream cheese frosting, of course, with carrot cake. So I'm getting the butter creaming with some cream cheese and powdered sugar. And I think what I'm gonna do before I frost it, because you wanna wait for everything to cool completely before you frost a cake. It can be so tempting to start to frost a cake before everything's completely cooled. I am going to run some errands, and we are probably gonna go to Target. I might look at Michael's, but I think Target for some Easter basket, eggs, filler, and toys and stuff like that to put in Owen and maybe Henry's Easter basket. I'm thinking maybe just Owen's. I haven't really done Easter baskets in the past just because Owen just turned 2, and I don't necessarily want to spend money unnecessarily before my children are even aware of what's happening. But as he becomes aware of what's going on, I do want to make special memories, and it would be fun to get him a few cute things and decorate a basket for Easter. So the cakes are out of the oven. I am going to load Henry up. He is going to join me for my errands this morning, and we're going to head out.
We just got back from running errands, and I grabbed a few things that I think I want to use to put together the Easter basket, at least for Owen. I grabbed his old Easter basket. I was looking at what I saw at the store and just wasn't 100% convinced I really needed to buy anything this year. I kind of think maybe next year I'll get coordinating things, or maybe I'll look for when things go on sale. This one my mother-in-law actually gave to Owen for his first Easter, so I'm just going to keep reusing it, I think. But I have to do returns because I bought too many things. I went to Michael's and to Target. At Target, I was really liking that they had these blue and green eggs, and then a really large pack of them. So I'm thinking I can use just some of the blue and green ones and save these for years to come and just keep reusing them. And I wanted to not use them for like an Easter egg hunt, but use them to put in his Easter basket, I think, because Owen is obsessed with the Disney movie Cars. And I found these mini cars. It's like $20, $25 maybe, so kind of expensive. It was on sale, but there's a bunch of the characters and they're mini, and I think they would even fit in these small eggs. I'm gonna ask Jim whether he thinks that Owen's gonna know all these characters, because if not, I could just buy him a couple of the larger cars and they will fit, I think, in the bigger eggs, but are pretty cool. And I think there's like even more that you can collect. I don't know. And then at Michael's, I did buy some other egg options. I got some grass filler in blue and green. Still debating whether I want to do an Easter basket for Henry. I don't really think I need to. I don't know what you can buy, like a 4-month-old. I'm guessing really nothing. He doesn't need anything. And then, let's see, the other stuff I found at Target. I found a little bubble blaster that's a dinosaur. This will be great because even though it says ages 4+, I'm thinking all you have to do is pull the trigger. We're not quite at the age where we can blow bubbles without putting it to our mouth and fully understanding the concept of like blowing the bubbles. So having this and being able to pull the trigger, I think he'll really like. So we'll see how that goes. I got him 2 tubes of bath paint. I have used this with him before and he doesn't have any more right now. And I think he'll be really excited to use this. It makes bath time more exciting for all of us. And then I got him some Peeps Sidewalk Chalk in blue. So this will be fun for the summer that he can use this giant bunny-shaped chalk. So that is it. I think I'm gonna try and get this all put in the Easter basket here. And I'm hoping it's like an appropriate amount of stuff and not stuff that's too wasteful. Like the chalk he's gonna use, the finger paints he'll use, the bubble blaster is a little bit of an extra, and same with the cars, but I'm going to toss in some snacks in there as well. So that is what that looks like, and I think I'll probably post like a reel on Instagram if you want to check that out of what his final Easter basket looks like.
The cake has had plenty of time to cool, so I'm just going to take a spatula and put a nice thick layer of that cream cheese frosting in between the two layers, because that's all it's getting is that one thick layer. I could frost the outside of the cake, but I kind of like the raw look of a carrot cake on the outside, so I'm just going to do that one thick layer. And I was thinking I could do another layer on top of it, but we could also get a little bit fancy, so I grabbed my decorating bin that I have for all of my frosting needs with a million different piping tips and things. So I sorted through and picked one out that I thought I would like and planned to do little dollops on top. And so I loaded up the white frosting into the piping bag just using a larger glass to help hold it up while I filled it with the frosting. Now I'm just screwing on the piping tip and I'm practicing in the bowl to see what it looks like and making cute little mounds or swirls around the cake. I felt like it was missing something, so I took part of that frosting out and grabbed some orange frosting and thought, like, how fun would it be if I made little carrots that you could have on each slice as you cut it? Of course, I was not measuring anything or really paying attention how symmetrical things were, and the carrots I thought just looked terrible. I didn't have enough room for one of the carrots, so you'll see I'm wiping off the whole design. Again, if this was for other people, I probably would have been a little bit more careful throughout this process, but since it was just us, I didn't really mind wiping it all up. I just used a paper towel, and then I etched a little bit into the remnants, I guess, because there's a little bit left over on the cake exactly where each carrot should go, and it made it a lot easier. I didn't want these to be perfectly filled, and I kind of liked the idea of the zigzaggy line so you could see that it was more of a drawing, so I just kind of wiggled back and forth making that carrot shape, and then I took the last little bit of frosting, added some green food coloring and a grass tip, and put the tops of the carrots on that way. Now we're going to do a tiny bit of decorating in my spring/summer decor bin. The only thing I have in here is this vase filler, these lemons. I've really cut down a lot of my seasonal decor, somewhat through the sophisticated declutter, but also just spring and summer. I don't tend to do a lot. I like just the light, airy feel of the house and not being bogged down by a bunch of clutter and decor. So I got this vase and filled it up with the lemons and with the little sprig stems there to add a pop of greenery. Okay, now we are in Owen's room and I am dumping out the laundry on his floor so I can start to sort and fold his stuff. I'm making piles, one pile of pajamas, one pile of things that need to be hung, one for pants, one for shirts. It is just a mess, and this is only half of the laundry. The other half is still in the dryer right now. I just gave it a little bit more of a tumble. It felt just the slightest bit damp, so I wanted that last little bit to dry a little bit longer. And then I'm starting by hanging some things, and then I'm going to move on to pants. I've shared before, but I love the drawer dividers that I've put in Owen's dresser. They are expandable, so they perfectly fit his drawer. They're not meant for kids. They are meant for adults or any normal dresser, and they do have these expandable ones, but they also have a few other options that fit. So I'll link them in the description box below if you're interested. They also come in different colors. I just chose this charcoal blackish color because I thought it matched his dresser best, but I think there's like a light linen, maybe a navy color. But again, I'll have it all in the description box below. Next up, I started folding pajamas, and this is what I was talking about. He has so many pairs of pajamas, and this isn't even all of it. He has some more in the dryer, so I am going to go grab the rest from the dryer. It's not just pajamas, it's other clothing as well. So I'm gonna grab that, dump it out on the floor, and then pick up where I left off with the pajamas so I can finish making those piles and get them put away in the dresser as well. If you've been following the saga on Instagram or here on YouTube, I've talked about it as well. Owen jumped out of his crib, so we are moving on to a big boy bed. You'll see it's a little bit of a disaster of a situation behind me right now. We are doing it in phases just because of how long it takes to get things. So at this point, we have a mattress. I got him some sheets. I got him cute little toddler pillows. There is an adult pillow on the bed right now. And we should be getting his comforter and duvet cover soon. And then the actual bed frame is going to take a little bit longer. But still, after I get everything put away, I am going to just quickly clean up the bed as best I can. And that is probably it for today's video and for today's Sophisticated Saturday. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you are interested in more mom content, kids content, I always have my Sophisticated Motherhood channel, which I post on every Monday. But with that, I will see you all later.